Uh-huh. Okay, so
Okay.
how would you explain slam poetry to poets
So
who
poets.
have nothing to deal with slam? Let's say in eastern part of Europe, there are lots of poets, but they stuck with traditions or have their own niches. But how
Well,
would you tell them what it is?
what I would say is that if they're going to speak their poetry aloud to an audience, they have a obligation to learn how to communicate it effectively. Just as an actor learns how to speak a drama or a theatrical comedy, poets, if it's going to be spoken aloud, should learn how to do that. And for them personally, when they write a poem, there's a certain performance going on in their heads when they write it. It's not blah, 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 blah. There's a performance going on in their head when they write it. And to be true to their work, they should recreate that performance that went on in their heads when they wrote it on the stage. That's what slam is all about. That's what I did. It's not about the competition came later. It was about performing the poetry.
Good point. Good point. And then, how would you describe slam to any random guy in the street? Maybe potential slam, and maybe not. Maybe just the one who passes through.
Yeah. So in our lives as human beings, we always seek out interesting, entertaining things to do. You know, we go to the soccer game, we go to the football game, we go to dance, we go to rock and roll. Slam, for the general audience, is another form of entertainment that can be fun for them to do. But what's particular about the slam event is that unlike the rock concert where you go with your friends and you leave with your friends and you never really meet anybody else, in the slam world, you go to an art event and all of a sudden you have made connections to people you would have never elsewhere in your life met. And you hear things that affect your soul and your mind. And most people who attend slams, it changes their lives. It opens up lots of new doorways, and that's very different from a lot of other entertainment art forms where after you go and see it and leave, nothing has changed in you. But in the slam world, you go and it changes you, which is what art is supposed to do, in my opinion.
And now you are as a stepfather of slam touring around Europe. How you see the scene now? It's quite a global thing. How you see the slam situation now?
What's nice about it is it does remain under the radar. At the same time, it's growing, and it hasn't become too commercialized. There's some little spots here and there where it became a commodity to the art entertainment business, which I've fought against since the beginning. Anybody that knows the true history knows that Marc Smith turned out a lot of opportunities to go in that direction, just because I think it's more important that it stays both professional and amateur. For me, it's been very humbling and rewarding to see other people, like yourself, that embrace these ideas and these principles that started with me and take it in their own directions. The slam truly belongs to thousands of people. Thousands of people have put their energy and hearts and minds into it, and many of them have never received the rewards I get to travel around and everything, but they did it as servants to a community, and that's the most wonderful thing about it. And I hope it keeps growing. The funny thing is that, you know, in the first year they said it would never last 2 years, and then after 5 years they said it would never last another year, and then 10 years the same thing. There's 25 years. It ain't going to stop. It's just going to keep growing, and it belongs to everybody. And we'll see. I'm old now, so who knows?
So what?
So what, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Great,
and then
that's great.
just like a few words to existing and forthcoming Lithuanian slammers.
Try to remain honest with your work. Don't write anything just because you think it's the thing that is going to win the prize or please the audience. If you don't feel vulnerable on stage with what you're saying or how you're performing, well, then you're really not trying hard enough. Be vulnerable. Make each time on stage a risk that you may not succeed. Be experimental. Don't do something just because somebody else did it. Be yourselves. Or not, you know. You don't have to take my advice. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome, buddy. Good question.